Welcome to the Dolphin Radio Show, that weekly event that occurs, that weekly show about current events, politics, and anything else, really. I'm your host, the porpoise with a purpose with a face for radio, Dolphin, and this week's discussion requires a bit of a trigger warning. We're going to be talking about pedophilia on the internet, as in, what the fuck is going on here? Ooga fucking ooga, guys. We have Schmeckle, the Eggman, Chair, and Reckless Trucker.
Yep.
Welcome to the discussion.
How the fuck you doing, cunts?
I'm just fine. All right, so
subscribe to my channel. I'm desperate.
I'll be with you in a second.
I'm ready for philosophical debate.
Can we have a fundraiser for Chair to buy new headphones, please?
Let me advocate my particular brand of environmentalist anarchism.
No.
Subject matter, guys. Pedophilia on the internet is a huge thing. It's starting to pop up like literally everywhere I look on the internet, and I'm using the literal definition of literally.
Are you looking in the right places? I mean, if you're making certain searches, then maybe pedophilia will pop up everywhere.
Well, no, see, no, I'm just seeing it pop up in random feeds, as I randomly scroll through things, and I've been catching wind of certain people making content on the internet about pedophilia. Pedophilia is a good idea.
Would these people happen to be 16 years old, dark-skinned, and curly-haired, or are we talking about somebody anonymous?
Generally speaking, somebody anonymous, but I'm sure that one of them meets that definition. But this is a kind of a fragile subject, as we were talking about before we went live. It's one of those things you want to tackle, but at the same time, it's very, you kind of got to go against a lot of your own principles like free speech, principles like the Ninth Amendment, and doxing is a violation of civil rights, things like that.
I do want to mention the fact, though, that a lot of times with underage pedophiles, that there tends to be abuse going on in their own home. It doesn't excuse the behavior, but we also have to shed light on that fact.
Yeah, I still think they deserve it.
Okay, Chairview, I'll acknowledge that. We gas the pedophile and their parents.
Right. Well, not even that. Like I said, I think in the future, I don't know about now, what we do now, I don't know, but I do think in the future there will be a way to somehow go after that aspect of the brain that makes them attracted to that. I don't know.
Yeah, my
Carrying drama, maybe.
My opinion is that yes, I agree with you. We should endeavor to cure them, even if it's an unpleasant process, because although that kind of goes against my principles too.
Anybody thinking shock therapy, maybe?
I know that that's not the only cause. And therapy therapy and a promise to not offend.
There's that
from children. It can only do so much.
There's that argument by C.S. Lewis that, and by sort of in Anthony Burgess's A Clockwork Orange, that trying to reform someone is a violation of freedom of free will, and that essentially.
What about trying to reform murderers?
But what worries me is Omni said,
what C.S. Lewis said is that punishment instead is the only moral recourse, because reforming them violates their freedom.
Yeah, but C.S. Lewis also thought that anybody who didn't believe in a god was a complete fucking dipshit.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what worries me. Omni has said, I don't feel like it would be worth the risk to go out and have a sex with a child at this time.
Oh, yeah. He says he won't fuck a child until it's legal.
Is that how he phrased it?
Yeah, he said at this time. Those are his words. And honestly, much like, I'm not comparing the two at all, okay, but much like Panda Bearing, I think both of these people have autism and don't know it. Like real autism. I'm not talking about internet autism. I mean real.
No, I'm sorry. Whatever Omnipolitics has is well beyond autism.
I know, but that's part of it too, because if you have certain parts of autism, if you're on a certain part of the spectrum, you can't really in your brain.
Watch your video, Trucker.
Reconcile, right? You know what I mean? You can't within yourself reconcile like right and wrong that easily. I'm not saying that he can't, because he said it. He already acknowledged that there's a risk involved, right?
Yeah, but his risk is legal, and you're also assuming that pedophilia is purely nature and not nurture. I mean, you started by saying that most pedophiles have abuse in their history, which would indicate nurture.
That would be nurture.
Well, I would argue most.
But then you're talking about autism, which would indicate nature, and you're talking about reforming the brain in such a way and conditioning in such a way.
Well, I don't think he's talking about all pedophiles. He's talking about this particular one.
This guy in particular. Like, there's a lot of factors involved, I think.
Yeah, I would say that there's probably a good amount of both in the causes. Depending nature and nurture.
Right. A lot of people that ended up having that happen to them don't become creepy pedophiles, but a lot of people that are creepy pedophiles end up having that happen to them.
And
there's other people getting their free speech shut down on YouTube, who are saying a lot less harmful things than he is, and they're getting shut down and shit. And meanwhile,
don't get me wrong. I do not want him shut down. When people come out with ideas like this, I want a spotlight shown on them.
I don't either. But if you're
to see who they are and what they are saying.
Shut down when these other people aren't saying anything as appalling as this man is, that's what it frustrates me. I don't think either should get shut down. Don't get me wrong.
And another thing about nature, although this kind of fits into the nurture in the sense that it's environmental. Another thing about pedophiles that there's a tendency with is that they often have experienced head trauma of some sort in their youth.
Really? I never found that information.
In their developmental years, yeah. Yeah, in their developmental years, they've experienced some sort of head trauma that has severely affected their brain.
Hey, is there any way you can throw me a citation for that?
Citation needed.
I mean,
I don't
you
know.
can tell me what, like at any point. I just want to throw it in the description.
Or something fucked up happened during the development where they.
I'll see if I can find it, but I don't.
They see someone naked and just realize they have an attraction, and it's
I'm looking for it too right now.
Well, see, for me that's fucked up. Because
it is, but it's not always.
You're a child and you see another child and you think it's attractive.
I'm saying if you're
cool.
No, let's say you're 13.
If you carry that into adulthood.
Let's say Omni was like 12, 13 and saw something or whatever, I'm not saying it's not fucked up, and there's got to be other factors involved to make someone think that way, like whether it's the brain being fucked up or whatever, I don't know, but there's not enough research.
I gotta ask, do any of you guys have kids?
I have 3 kids.
Yep.
Okay, so just Dolphin?
I do.
Oh, Chair.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could impregnate a lady.
Everything.
Thank God.
But yeah, what would be your natural reaction to not somebody molesting your kid, but somebody showing more than normal interest?
Well, I would keep the kid away from him.
It would become a very serious and
I would keep an eye on the person. I would keep my kid away from them. I would, do all I can to protect them. You know what I mean? I would probably, if they were in my neighborhood, I would probably move.
I think he's looking for like that moment that you recognize it. Like it.
The very second you realize, hey, this guy is. I'm watching my boys
playing outside, and some guy comes up and goes, "Those are your boys?" And I go, "Yeah, those are my boys." And he goes, "Man, that one on the left has got an ass on him."
Exactly. Like maybe not so explicitly stated, but
yeah.
The moment you realize they're interested in your kid.
I was just trying to think of something.
I would try and find out where that person
was doing right that moment, and I would turn and look at them, and I would say, "I need you to explain what you mean by that right now."
Like the creepy old guy.
Calm. Yeah, I don't get real loud and obnoxious. I get very quiet and very severe real quick, and that serves my my particular.
Well, let me tell you about an interesting incident. Okay, my ex-wife has 3 kids, so I got involved with her when I was like, I don't know, 26. Okay, and I got involved anyway, even though I knew the situation. And then we had one of our own kids, but we were at the park one day. like one of them was running around, and she's hard to keep track of because, So anyway, so we were watching the other kids, and then one of them we couldn't see her for a second, like literally a second. We had our eyes on the playground the whole fucking time.
This link that I just
we go to look, and a minute or two later, we look over, and she's sitting on the swings, right? Some woman who's the mother of another kid had picked her up and brought her over and put her on the swings, and it was like, the scariest moment. And you just look at that woman, and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Right.
Okay, sorry about that link, because that's from 2003. Hold on.
Yeah, it's still good no matter how old it is.
I'm actually catching a bunch of citations as soon as I started looking up for it. There are actually quite a bit of articles about head trauma causing pedophilia.
Yeah, prior to the age of 13, right?
Yeah, there's actually a handful of them of regression pedophilia and stuff like that, like people that were not pedophiles and then suffered head trauma and
Dolphin, I was wondering if you might accept a couple more people that have covered this topic in this
room. Let's bring them.
By the way,
bring them in. I'd be more than happy.
Have you seen Louis Theroux's documentary about young
one
sex offenders?
Yeah, where he interviews the sex offenders in that one clinic.
Yeah, and they're all underage kids, right? And
see, that's in my mind a bit of an alternative to just gassing them more. Gassing them, you keep them
I like gas
separate from the population. Keep pedophiles separate from the population.
Yeah, but you look at the number of kids that he talks to, right? That are in there, the underage one.
Oh. No, I've never seen that.
Oh, I didn't see that one, but I've seen the one where he interviews pedophiles in that.
No. The one though that you're thinking of is called A Place for Pedophiles.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
It's called Hell.
Thank you. I remember him saying. I don't remember him talking to children in that. I remember him talking about.
Oh, I'll find the one.
Asking them about the number of victims they had. And it kind of was surprising of what they were saying. Like, this one dude said he was like a mailman, and that he had, what was it, like the number of victims?
I got a package for you.
Basically, he had offended multiple times on children he didn't know. It was. Let me tell you something. I raged the fuck out of the fuck out of my mind while watching that.
I think the show I was actually thinking of was called Kid Criminals. Is the name of the show?
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I don't think
it is a British show, but they talk to a lot of kids who express the fact that the guys that are in there as being pedophiles. Those kids, a lot of them say that they were, they
were molested, right?
Molested and assaulted and stuff violently when they're kids and everything, and it's
again, there's not necessarily correlation there. The trauma from being abused turns them into that. There maybe is a potential.
I found a lot of information.
They are more likely. That's all.
Yeah, I found a lot of information where they did a lot of interviews with people that were like prostitutes or known extraordinarily sexually promiscuous.
Yeah,
like
a lot of those people were abused as kids.
Yeah.
Promiscuity tends to be a result of early sexual contact.
See, but that's why I worry about people that, I'm not accusing these people of anything, but certain people in the public media who have said, like, I was abused as a kid, it wasn't a big deal.
They need to kind of set the fuck up.
Like Richard Dawkins being one of them, saying that it didn't affect me that much, and I think he's full of crap.
That just kind of confirmed to me that Richard Dawkins was a creep.
Well, that's the only part I meant, is that he probably did have some trauma from it.
I'm sorry. I have to ask, though, that comment, Richard Dawkins was a creep.
He is a creep.
He's not a pedophile,
but is that based just on the fact that he's a creep? Or do you also disagree with his views and think he's more creepy because of it?
Hey, friends, how you doing?
Hey.
Hey, we have a gay guy now. We're
Like,
diverse.
that's why there's a good difference between him and, say, Milo, because Milo is saying, oh, it wasn't a big deal because he's trying to make joke of it so that he can deal with it.
Milo's...
Smeckle, I thought you were black.
Well,
You thought I was black. Have you heard my fucking voice, cunt?
Okay.
It's a joke about your photo.
Oh, God.
We wouldn't be shitlords without the racist joke. Come on.
And like that.
Alright, if we don't have any blacks here, I'll be the token nigger.
Well, and like my ex that I told you about, right? There's a big difference between, like, I'm sorry, but there are a big difference between the pedophiles who molest somebody without violence and those who act with extreme violence. Like, in her case, it was extreme violence.
Well, yes, there's a difference between the two, but both of them deserve.
No, both of them are horrible. But I'm saying
the worst.
Both of them are going straight.
That's
to
why
hell,
it was a lot harder in her case, though, for me to resist wanting to castrate the guy. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've seen the video I made, Chair. I didn't advocate for killing the guy.
No,
I did admit that, yes, I'd like to see him dead. But the part of me that wants to see him dead is...
No, it's more like if he died, you wouldn't be sad kind of thing.
Like, until we have proof that he's actually harmed a kid...
I know.
Then it's just a thought crime type thing, right?
Yeah, but thought crime is when you keep it in your head. Like when you're going out in public and telling other people.
There's a difference between free speech and so forth and so forth, and then advocating for something like pedophilia, though.
Well, yeah, there is certainly a difference. He's advocating for terrible things.
Okay, would you like me to tell you one of the? Would you like me to tell you one of the reasons why I think that he has abuse?
I'd like to hear
the free speech thing. I got a curious thing, but I'll wait a little bit.
I'd like to hear something from Prince.
Yeah, I'd like to hear our new guest.
Ask away.
Well, Milo kind of made some assertions that made it seem like pedophilia was just regular within the homosexual community.
No. Now, what he talked...
As a gay man yourself, I'd like to...
I have to correct you, though, because what he said about the being 17 and dating a 29-year-old, 17 was above the legal consenting age in the UK.
But he did also talk about being 14.
Yeah, he also made comments when he was younger than that.
Yeah,
and normalized it.
Well, it would be true to say that there is a more proportion of gay people that have been molested than straight per capita.
Well, this is what I would say. When you are starting to go through puberty as a gay man, and you start to, as a gay young man, as a gay pubescent, you realize that it's not really that likely that you're going to find another gay kid to have sex with, and so
I can understand that.
Yeah, and so you're horny just like every other 14-year-old boy. So
I was a horny motherfucker. Sorry.
Yeah, so a lot of young men or boys will go out of their way to find older gay men to have sex with because that's the only people that they could find. I didn't do that, but I know a lot of people do, and I think that what Milo is probably pointing to, the difference is that you have to like really go out of your way to find these people. Like you can't. It's not like you're just gonna like randomly sort of run into an older gay guy that you have to look for them. And so I think that when he says he was the predator, he was sort of referring to that situation.
Okay.
But at the same time, I don't know. I think that also he, knowing that he doesn't feel bad about it, like he doesn't really feel like he was exploited. I think that when you do something like that, I'm not going to say it's moral, like I'm not going to, and I certainly would, like if I ever look at a 14-year-old or 15-year-old and they're well developed, gone through puberty and maybe in good shape or whatever, I know what you mean. There's still like a total cringe in my mind if I ever even consider thinking about being attracted to them. It's like, oh God, there's a little though. Good. It's weird.
Yeah.
And so I
like him because of the title.
I can't really imagine what it would be like to have sex with one of these, young men, even if they're totally developed, even if they were like 16 or 17, it would be totally weird. So like
Yep.
that part is really hard for me to imagine, but at the same time, if somebody diligently sought out this interaction, first had to figure out, okay, I'm gay, how am I going to have sex? Okay, I'm going to find an older man. Where am I going to find an older man? And then they started hanging out in that neighborhood, and then they kept pursuing, and then finally they found one, and they were so stoked about it, and it was great, and
they're going to find somebody eventually,
and then they never feel bad about it for the rest of their life. It's kind of weird to act like they have to talk about it like, oh my God, I was abused. Oh my God, I was so abused. That's like a little bit of it's kind of unfair. And I feel like,
right.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
I saw Eagle Matriarch's tweet. Yeah, he said something along the lines of, as somebody that was a quote unquote victim of statutory rape, it's not the same as just outright rape.
You got to keep in mind too, there are countries where the consenting age is 13.
Mexico's like 12 or something.
I know, and that's what I mean. And I'm not arguing that those ages are anywhere near ready.
Oh, hell no.
No, those countries just have no grasp on what should be the proper age.
So on Discord, they were trying to defend
Fuck those countries.
And they said, oh, it's fine that...
Fuck those countries in the ass.
And I was just like, my argument was this, brain development and blah, blah, blah. But then they argued, they're like, well, the brain's not fully developed till 25, so should they wait till they're 25? I'm like, no, but the brain is going to be more developed at, say, 17 than it is at 13. You don't need the brain fully developed. You just need it developed to the point where it understands what it's fucking doing. Logic.
Right. You need emotional maturity.
You don't need it able to grasp taxes and
am I saying that there aren't some kids that are 13 and able to grasp that?
You need it to know what sex is and the repercussions of sex.
Right. Well, it's like I was talking
understand responsibility and liability.
Well, I believe in Canada too. There's the whole thing that the age is 16, but then under that, there's also that 2-year rule.
Yeah, 14-year-old,
that I understand.
15-year-old can fuck, and like a 15 and a 17-year-old can fuck.
Yeah,
and that's about it.
Yeah,
that I can kind of understand, because then we have relationships as adults that are like 20 years separate.
Okay, I also knew this guy that I was friends with. He's not I'm not calling him a predator because he wasn't, but he was like 23, 24. Girlfriend was like 16, 17. He had the parents' permission. The parents were okay with them dating, which is creepy to me. But I went with him to pick her up one day. I forget. I was like a couple years younger than him, but I was still in my 20s, and it was like the creepiest fucking thing. Sitting out of high school, waiting for her to come out, and how slutty the girls are dressed really slutty. Like all their skirts were hiked up really high.
They are. Yeah, it's true.
It was just like I felt so creeped out sitting there waiting for her to come out for him. Like,
it is an awkward feeling sitting outside a high school.
Like I even know a girl who's like 22
maybe
and her boyfriends are like 40. Like.
Well, you're like a baby to be outside of high school, aren't you, Schmeckle?
I have younger siblings and shit. I've spent a good portion of the past couple of years sitting outside of fucking high school waiting for my younger sister to get the
Somebody's going to edit that to be creepy.
Well, she's like, okay. Well, I have this friend that I know on Facebook, and she's like 22. Her boyfriend's always like 40, and I'm like, what do you guys have in common? You know? And even that's creepy.
Sexual desires. That's about it.
Yeah, but that's creepy to me too. And it's like
I think when you go with these online like outspoken pedophiles, though, I don't really think that it's so much a mental disorder kind of scenario as it is. They're just horny loners. That
by the way, do you want to reword your intro?
That could be the case.
Run comes in the room and he goes, "I only came because of the title."
Run comes over pedophilia.
Yeah. Let's actually let Run speak.
Fucking disgusting.
I'm only kidding, Run, but
he's actually.
It's okay, Chair. I didn't take that seriously. It was funny.
He's actually been talking to.
Let's talk to the guy with the guns about pedophiles.
He's been talking about.
Run, what is your personal opinion of people who stick their dicks inside of little kids?
He's gonna stick their guns inside of them.
I have 4 answers to that 2 of them are 9mm, one's a 380, and one's a 40 caliber.
God bless you, running guns. God bless you.
Nice.
Oh yeah, the video I did on pedophiles on my other channel has hit 200 plus hits, and it's only got like 43 subscribers.
I just got 14 subscribers, and my Cynthia G one has almost 400 views.
Let's kind of stay on subject, guys. I am curious as to why this suddenly seems to become an okay thing for people to come out and talk about. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. When somebody steps out in the spotlight and says, "I'm a pedophile," and then put that spotlight on them, and we need to hear what they have to say.
Do you remember when the right was pushing the whole slippery slope thing?
Yeah.
What?
Gay marriage.
What, that being gay is going to turn you into a pedophile?
No, they said if you're going to legalize gay marriage, then something that's going to lead to child fucking.
Yeah, and some people took that way too seriously. They're like, "Oh, the gays are getting married. I guess I can fuck kids."
Well, I got a question for you guys.
I
got a few
It's
questions.
kind of funny
for you
that
guys.
their mind went there so quickly.
Well, guys, I got a few questions for you guys. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. First off, how many of you guys hate Bill O'Reilly?
Not hate, but
yeah, I'll go with that.
I think he's a dumb motherfucker. Does that
I'll say
count?
I'm not fond of him.
I think his online persona. I think his media persona is different than him as a person, probably.
Well, yeah, he's a provocateur. He really is.
He's Milo for.
Yeah, but he doesn't write it either,
He's
though.
Milo without hair.
But he doesn't write half
Milo
that shit. He
Christians.
reads it.
He's Milo without gayness.
Like,
Yes.
someone's writing it for him. He's not writing it.
Yeah, but here's the thing, guys. How many of you guys have read his books that aren't the Killing series?
I haven't.
Certainly
I don't
not
think
me.
we
I have
got
a kid. I
response on
can't
this one.
afford books.
Well, he called it He called it, I think, almost 15 years ago now. That these guys, that the extreme left was going to try to normalize pedophilia. None of you guys remember the old NAMBLA Supreme Court case?
Well, this brings up an interesting question. Is like, are social justice warriors and are feminists gonna hear people like some of these individuals out there speaking, and then stand up against them?
I'd
or
like to
support
say
them?
that a lot of the more popular SJWs, the people that we see, say like Bering and Sargon clashing with,
Right.
Tim Blake, even Michael Rowlands, Steve Shives even, I
That's
think
why the fuck
they
you wearing a
will
jacket, Tim?
be against pedophiles.
Oh, they,
O'Reilly does write his own stuff.
Mike.com, BuzzFeed, Salon, those guys on the other hand,
You mean
I think
Ask
they'll be entirely fucking for it.
Yeah, Tim actually has he said that one of the reasons that he got his YouTube suspended was because he criticized pedophiles.
Yeah, I did see
Wait,
that,
what?
and I've got to say, Tim Blake is one of the more respectable SJWs.
Yeah,
He hasn't gone full Steve Shives and blocked
That doesn't
everybody.
say very much.
He doesn't
okay?
block everyone. He'll make arguments. He may be wrong on a lot of shit.
He'll try. He'll try.
Well, not even that. He's right on a lot more shit than his peers are.
Listen though, if he's one of the better ones, if he's
Check out
one
my
of the-
screen.
If he's one of the better ones, right? Then
Yeah, it went away.
that doesn't say very much for the rest of them.
Well, no, certainly not. Like I said, he's wrong on a lot of shit.
What
But
the
he
fuck,
is
Gary
a lot
Darnell?
better than a lot of the shit that you see from them.
O'Reilly does write his own shit.
But by the same token, Michael Rowlands is a lot better than some of them.
why are these women? Why
The
are
doctor
these women?
extraordinaire, Michael Rowlands, that guy.
Why?
Michael
This will be
Rowlands
all
is
in the
man,
video
Mike.
I'm doing.
Run. Go back one. Go
Why
back.
are these
Well,
women?
this is a video, so I yeah.
Can you zoom it back? Can you? All right.
That one.
No, the one after that, I believe.
If the consenting age is 16, then yes, someone at 13, it should be considered rape.
I'll
or
be
12.
back in 5 minutes, cunts,
If
pizza.
it's
All right.
12-year-old consent, it's
Girl.
statutory.
See this girl in the
Oh,
top
God.
left, okay? And the Amber and the Carrie, both of them look like they're around 12 to 14. You guys may disagree because you're younger, but I have kids that are 11 years old. This is a 12-year-old girl. That's a 12-year-old girl. The reason they're agreeing with it and standing up for it is because it gives them the authority to go out there and have sex.
And be like,
I have a 14, almost 15-year-old.
Yep. Okay,
that's
12,
probably true, Dolphin.
Like a 12-year-old, a teenager is going to think that. A 13, 14-year-old is going to think that 12-year-old is old enough because they're sick of their parents telling them what to do and shit. But like, no, your brain is not developed enough to have the logic centers connected properly for you to make a proper sound decision. You think about what your body says. You don't think about what the future is. You don't think about, gee, I could have a kid by the time I'm 14. I could end up giving birth at 13 years old.
Yeah, I don't think that a person is developed really until they're right around.
Look at Cash Me Outside girl, right? Like her next step.
Why are you bringing up that mental deficient little girl?
Because her next step is pregnancy. That's her and her mother's next big thing.
Her next step is prison.
Is to be pregnant. You know, and it's like
she's still actually. I think she did a complete turnaround and is a decent human being.
No, she didn't. She didn't. She went right back to it because of who her mother is. No, after she went to that farm and everything, no, she went back to her old ways. Because the mother has gotten the girl an agent and all this shit, so she's getting publicity off it.
I smell steak.
The only reason I brought her up is to say that the brain development, to point that out.
All right, I've got a question for everybody here, and we can go down the line. But do you think that pedophilia is more or less prevalent in certain social groups, such as the homosexual community, the straight community,
actually,
racial communities, or religious communities? And we all know the religious answer.
Technically, it is more common in heterosexual than in homosexual.
Yeah, like 80 something percent, or 83%.
I missed the question. I took my headset off for a second.
The question was, do you think that pedophilia is more or less prevalent in heterosexual or homosexual communities? Is it more prevalent in, say, different racial groups, or is it more prevalent? And I went on religion, but we all already know that one.
They said 83% of the stats that they have of the reported sexual assaults that they were female. So, but that doesn't tell you how many of those offenders were women. Because there are some.
Are the victims women or
both? There are both. There are both that happen. That's the thing.
Well, then you gotta look at the the GDP percentage.
But it's mostly straight men screwing girls, and yeah. So.
Well, most boys won't tell on it if it's a female aggressor.
Yeah.
They're usually found out through somebody else.
Yeah, and that's regardless of whether they were.
But I'm talking little boys, like really young boys, like under 5 kind of thing. You know?
Yeah. I mean? Okay, Chair. Children that young don't know what the hell they would be talking about.
I know, and that's what I'm pointing out. Though,
well,
like
they would act weird, of course, because they don't know what the fuck happened. But it would be hard to get that out of a kid.
Like 8th graders fucking their teacher. In most cases, they get a high five instead of like, "Oh, you were assaulted." You know.
Yeah, I would have.
It depends. It depends on the teacher and the student.
Yeah.
Well, did you hear about that father who first claimed his son was molested by the teacher and then changed his mind to, oh no, he wasn't molested. He'll just consider that another notch on his bedpost.
Yeah, there's the other teacher too who broke up some wine and something happened and they got caught in the middle of it. The paramedics had to come and save her or something.
The paramedics had to come.
Yeah.
But most of the pedophiles I've encountered on YouTube have been straight guys and straight women doing this shit.
Yeah, and that's what I'm noticing with the online pedophile community is that the outspoken ones, they seem to be mostly men going after young girls. And I think one of the age ranges I heard was 3 to 12.
I'm not quite sure how old Prince is, but when I was a kid, most people just assumed if you were gay, you were a pedophile.
Yeah, that stereotype has probably been around since the dawn of time for whatever.
And I'm 38, and that's when I was a kid.
Yeah, I'm 35.
The gay guy we might have right now, he might touch kids. I don't know, but most of them don't.
Hey, Prince, are you turning 36 this year?
I'm 30. I just turned 35 at the beginning of February.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Christ,
I got a year on you.
So then,
Same. I turned 38 on the 12th of February.
So I found a story from November where this teacher got pregnant by a 13-year-old student. I'm not sure how old she was exactly, but she's 25. Okay, and so she had sex daily with a 13-year-old student, and then got pregnant by him. Says they're in love, and she was charged with continuous sexual abuse of a child, and she pled to a lesser charge to get aggravated sexual assault. And that the boy's family apparently accepted the relationship. And then Child Protective Services showed up, and then she had an abortion. And
do you know how many of my guy friends that are roughly my age told me that their fathers would have beat their ass if they would have got laid and ratted out there whoever they fucked?
The parents
you got laid and sent them to jail. What the fuck is wrong with you?
The parents are being forced to undergo therapy and parenting classes.
Hey, Dolphin, can I answer your question real quick?
Go for it.
Okay, well, here's the thing about that. First off, about like Prince was saying, the stereotype. It also depends on which social group you go to when it comes to different, I guess, gay communities, I guess you could say. Like, if you said that pedophilia in the gay community in Hollywood was massive, I don't think anybody here would disagree.
Yeah, I think that's an outlier, though. I don't really think that that's part of the standard norm.
Because I'm guessing there's a lot of pedophilia from straight Hollywood producers too.
Yeah,
Hollywood in general is creepy.
Yeah, like Corey Haim put it, the casting couch includes children.
Right, but most human beings in general, no matter what their group, are absolutely against it. They're normal, moral human beings. Moral objectivity is something we can all agree on.
Or at least publicly, that's the persona they give.
Yeah, well, I think it changes once you start getting into the elite classes.
No, the elites have always been creeps.
Yeah, exactly.
That's part of being an elite.
Let's not talk about Pizzagate, okay? Let's just pretend it didn't happen.
Oh, no.
Good, because I'm having steak.
I was not going to talk about Pizzagate. Jesus Christ.
My lawyers have informed me that I must stay off of this subject.
Christ, Pizzagate.
I want to know about that. I haven't been able to find
it. Back on a drink.
The pizza place was a distraction. The real story is actually Anthony Weiner's computer. That's where the real story was.
Directly related to child rape in a fucking pizza joint.
No, that was the cover story. What the real story was is that the DOJ was going after Weiner, and they looked at his computer, and they found that he has all this content on his computer.
Yeah.
Wait. Anthony Weiner had pedo content?
The conspiracy is that the Clintons were smuggling children in for sex.
No, you don't understand.
Would that surprise anybody?
You don't understand. There were parts in those emails where they actually said the kids will be picked up by this person who's acting as the Uber, and they will be waiting in the hot tub for your entertainment. Literally, those are the exact words in the email. Okay.
Okay, let's really get off this topic. Jesus.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about.
Well, you wanted to talk about pedophiles, so.
No, and I get that the Jimmy Savile thing uncovered that a lot of big names in the BBC are involved in this.
Secret Service is coming.
Well, it's not just Jimmy Savile.
I just don't want the feds kicking down my door because I only have like 6,000 bullets, dude.
Yeah, good point. I'm just saying that there's a tendency. A lot of the evidence that the evidence and anecdotes that I've heard tend to point towards the elites, particularly in entertainment, but perhaps.
Okay, so what is Johnny Fox saying about Omni right now?
Also higher levels of government and.
What is what?
What is Johnny Fox saying about Omni right now?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything Johnny Fox has said about Omni.
Who's Johnny Fox?
He's the guy that was exposing a lot of the shit with.
Okay, I know.
With Candid.
I'm back with you, so I'm gonna stay muted.
He reported.
I thought that was harmful.
He reported Candid to the FBI. So,
No. He reported Kennedy to the FBI for the child pedophile groups that were forming, where people were passing stuff amongst each other.
Yeah,
you're thinking it's harmful went after Candid for their basic violation of their.
I had not heard the Candid stuff, but I remember. But I did watch a Tyler Preston stream where they talked about. Where Skeppo talked about finding it on Twitter, and there's lots of it on. There's people streaming it live on Facebook.
Do you think we could pay SoCal Jesus to say Omnipolitics is the biggest pedophile on YouTube?
Hey guys, I got a question now. You guys remember a few years back, and even I think even one of them police movies shows made a spin based off of it, where they found that there was like this Twitter or Tumblr, not Tumblr, Pinterest, I think, group that was spreading around live imagery of kids being molested and stuff.
Well, that actually has been happening, yeah.
Yeah, that's based off of. Yeah, most of the cop shows are. A lot of the way that they get subject for those cop shows is actual police and detectives sending in suggestions and whatnot.
Yeah, turns out Periscope apparently is used by a lot of pedophiles to stream child porn to each other, and it doesn't. And when you report it, it doesn't get taken down for days because
they're lazy.
Because no human being is actually observing the fucking reports.
Right.
I'm sorry. This kind of disgusts me.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah. And for those of you who aren't parents who are basically speaking out against this, I thank you. As a parent, I thank you because you guys are on the right track.
Yeah, that's Skeppo said in that stream I was talking about, said she left Twitter for a while because she kind of kept finding this shit. She didn't want to be on the same platform as this shit. And
the weird thing is, I've never came across it yet. I hear stories of people that always do.
Yeah, well,
that's why you make them famous.
Well, yes, you make these pedophiles famous. You fucking make sure people notice it, and you get the individual tweet. I don't know. And
you got to be careful here, Egg. You got to be careful here because there's a very thin line between what you're talking about and doxing, and in my opinion, doxing is a violation of civil rights.
Yes, I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you, but I'm not saying with if you find it on Twitter, what you do is you take the individual link and you report it to whatever particular. There's sites for you to report when you find child porn.
Right, but no, remember
and
what I was saying about
NAMBLA? For the nobody in the crowd right now, if you see this shit, do not retweet it to try and bring attention to it.
No,
right.
No, do not retweet it and do. Yeah.
Like that's bad shit. You're sharing child porn at that point. You're going to jail too.
Yeah,
it's.
But
ever seen Bubba? You're getting raped by him hard.
I wouldn't, and I would also say don't ignore it. You must report it.
Always report it.
Okay. Well, guys, you remember my comments about NAMBLA, right? You guys know what NAMBLA is, right?
National Association of Man Boy Love, or the National Association, Association of Marlon Brando Lookalikes.
North American Man Boy Love Association, actually.
Right.
Yeah, Chair knows well.
No, I've heard about it.
It's based in Canada. It's based in Canada.
I prefer the other NAMBLA, the one about Marlon Brando.
NAMBLA on South Park. I'm sorry, but NAMBLA on South Park was one of the funniest episodes.
It was. But
it was pretty funny.
You know that's
real.
The Marlon Brando.
NAMBLA is real.
Thing. That's real.
Oh God.
I
guys.
Okay, sorry, Reckless.
I don't blame you. Though, do you remember what the court case was about? If you go to the thing is, the two guys were encouraged by NAMBLA's webpage to go and drug and kidnap and rape this little boy. And if you go to the NAMBLA webpage, it has all this information about how to get away with kidnapping little kids, rape, how to get away with all this kind of creepy shit.
Wait, seriously?
So it sounds like somebody wants to get shot.
It does. It really does. It has all this information about how to get away with being a pedophile. How to do it secretly and slyly. But it got all the way to the Supreme Court.
Sure your parents don't understand that you're raping your little sister.
And by the way,
Rule number one.
By the way,
Tell your
Oh,
parents.
there it is.
be careful, by the way, about going after people like this on Twitter as well, because Twitter is developing a new algorithm.
them.
Yeah, no, Twitter likes the pedophiles now, or at least their algorithm does.
Yeah, Twitter's brand new algorithm for hate speech.
So that
So that case went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, oh, well, it's just free speech. But you're not allowed to yell fire in a crowded area.
That's not an act of speech. I hate it when people make that comparison. That is a call to action. It's like standing in the crowd and saying, kill that man, kill that man. That's not an act of speech. That's a call to action.
Yeah, that is a call to action. I agree with Dolphin there. And you know, if pedophiles can get away with telling each other how to get away with raping children, then why can't I shout fire in a fucking theater?
Yeah, you know, I think that there needs to be some specification of enabling criminal activity.
Well, there already is in every other form of criminal activity except this one because of the Supreme Court.
Yeah, but you don't see NAMBLA making videos on YouTube saying, it's okay, you need to do, like...
No, you see
making web pages about
it. Shit making videos instead.
You see people like fucking OmniPolitics making videos about it.
You see people who have been empowered by groups like NAMBLA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because trust me, OmniPolitics would not be saying shit if there weren't groups, even really, really hated groups that were doing the same thing.
Remember, Nancy Pelosi walked with NAMBLA in the New York parade.
Yeah, but remember, OmniPolitics won't fuck a kid because it's not legal. Not because he doesn't really, really, really want to fuck a kid.
Can I tell you
because he doesn't want to get caught.
Now, Schmeckel, I want to power off of that one real quick. When I was 17, I told everybody I knew I would never smoke pot because it was illegal.
Exactly.
And I'm going to tell you right now that I lied.
And just like I'm convinced that OmniPolitics
is lying about
has
whether he
probably abused a child at this point.
No, I don't. That's a strong accusation to make. I think that he's on the path to do so.
The pedophiles that control their urges do so because they know that fucking a kid is wrong. And
Even
that's
so,
not the case with OmniPolitics.
Even so, virtuous.
He thinks it's fine.
Even so,
I love that one of his arguments was they can't get pregnant.
Yeah.
That was
well, you know what? That means I can fuck my fucking dog because I can't knock my dog up.
I want to tell him, you know who else can't
I
get pregnant?
can rape my fucking
women.
my fucking postmenopausal grandmother because it won't knock her up.
Oh my god.
Like, I'm sorry, does that mean that I can rape anybody who won't get pregnant? Egg Lord. I'm gonna rape you.
No.
Because I'm pretty sure you can't get knocked up.
Oh god.
Prince of Queens, raped. Reckless, Run, Dolphin, Share, raped.
What if
I don't know? Yeah, I was about to say Prince of Queens is gay, guy. Dude, you need to ask him first.
That doesn't mean he can get knocked up. Prince, can you carry a baby?
How far?
I don't know, about 10 feet without dropping it.
Oh, God.
Oh my.
Yeah, if raping kids is okay because they can't get knocked up, then consider my dick inside all of your asses.
We are terrible people.
Really, I missed something.
What'd you miss, Ron?
Oh, God.
I'm not sure I stepped away to get rid of my plate.
While you were away, you were busy getting
every
raped.
one of you in your assholes because you can't get pregnant, so it's cool.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Are you okay with that, man with the gun?
Why not? What the hell?
God damn it.
What can I do to stop a gorilla anyway? Shit.
That needs to be a catchphrase from now on. Well, they can't get pregnant.
That website you guys flashed up earlier, link it to me so I can possibly include it in the video.
It's Nambla.org.
Yes, because I'll forget it later.
Oh, God, lung cancer is a bitch.
Oh, God.
Smackle, if you're going to die, you better turn the camera on.
Yeah, no, dude, we need to make a snuff film.
Oh, my God.
That'll get Dolphin Radio some subs.
You're just wanting to kill me on camera because I raped all your assholes.
Come on, let's capitalize on all the degeneracy in the world.
Nambla's already started that for you, sir.
Exactly. You know, if
all right, guys, we're coming up on the end of the hour, which is that wonderful point in time where I get to read to you the sponsorship of the day. And the Dolphin Radio is a nationally syndicated radio show, and the most popular show on all sonar stationing across the world. Is made possible through a grant from the Campaign to Save the Humans, as well as a much larger and more several donations from the campaign to let them all kill each other. We will be back next week with another outstanding installment of the Dolphin Radio Show, and until then, there are plenty of cat videos on John Oliver's
Before
channel.
you end this, Dolphin, that was a good outro, but I have to ask, how did my dick in your blowhole feel?
I was having trouble breathing, but then it was
just trouble.
It was
just
like you
trouble.
Know, a little dizzy, and then right before you pass out, you get it.
It has plenty of muscles, so Schmeckle must have loved it.
Oh, God.
Anyway, guys, we're going to talk out the next few minutes.
Dolphin's blowhole, ribbed for my pleasure.
You know, if pedophilia is okay because they can't get pregnant, then you know what? What the fuck? Why the fuck can't we start recording people dying on film for sexual gratification?
True, they can't get pregnant.
You know, why don't we make Manhunt a reality?
Dead people cannot get pregnant. That is true.
You know what? From now on, whenever somebody says, this shouldn't be happening, you should just reply with, but they can't get pregnant.
The shitstorm that would start.
Schools is unacceptable, but they can't get pregnant.
Oh, God, I'm going to have so much raping to do. Great
apes are known for their extreme horniness. This is true.
Have you ever met a dolphin?
Oh, dolphins are worse.
Dolphins, the only creatures that
will find conch shells on the bottom of the ocean and start nailing them.
Yeah. Dolphins will actually rape human beings for fun.
Dolphins are one of the few creatures in the world that'll actively partake in gang rape and shit like that.
Yeah, they actually will gang rape other species.
Yep.
They do it to baby
dolphins.
And otters do it to baby seals.
Oh my God! Seriously?
Yeah, otters do it to baby seals. Baby seal usually drowns.
Well, it's kind of like how people will rape puppies, you know? No, nobody else did.
I think we need to go ahead and kill the live broadcast.
Some parts of your life we don't need to hear about.
And we'll see you all guys next week. We're going to have Michael Rollins on every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. EST.
If Michael Rollins is coming by, I got to stop by, Dolphin. Me and him, we're in one of those bromances.
Oh, it's a one-on-one, man.
It's a very sexual thing.
With him. He's totally cheating on you, man.
Man.
Wait.